Good morning and welcome to the launch of the 2022 Proud to be a Chef program. 2021 has continued to provide many challenges to the hospitality industry, but it's fair to say that throughout all of those times, the people within the hospitality industry have stood up proud, and we'd like to acknowledge everyone on this call today and those in the wider industry for the ongoing resilience, tenacity and creativity that has been demonstrated a lot on these last 16 months or so. It's truly been inspiring, and I for one really think that as the industry emerges out of COVID, despite the fact that we have some ongoing lockdowns, that we'll actually come through this stronger and better than ever before. And we have been asked whether or not we would be actually running the program for 2022. We've had some challenges even in running the 2021 program, but we're really excited to be launching that and running the event in October of this year. And here we are today launching the 2022 program. The Proud to be a Chef program has been a stalemate of many apprentices' journey across the last 20 years or so. And Anchor Food Professionals remains committed to not only the hospitality industry, but we're dedicated to supporting the ongoing careers of apprentices as they come through and develop their own careers in the industry. We're really passionate about the program and we're committed to making a difference. And our additional investment and ongoing support is an enabler to making these things happen in the industry. There's been an incredible team that's been working in the background over several months to ensure that we're able to make this program happen. But really, it wouldn't be possible without the ongoing support of many on this call today and those in the wider industry. And we'd really like to reach out and thank William Anglis for their ongoing support, and the RTOs, many of you on this call today, for your ongoing support in the way that you encourage and support your apprentices as they go through the journey of submitting their applications for the program. And to our customers, we're committed to supporting you, and you've been really strong and committed to supporting us through particularly the last 16 or so months. So it's just a really exciting time to be here today launching this program with you. We've been part of the journey for around 600 apprentices over a number of years. And that's something that we're really proud of, and obviously being here today to launch this program is yet another way that we'll have another 32 apprentices at the end of next February who have been part of this ongoing journey. And of course, without the mentors that we have here to support us through this journey, we wouldn't be anything. We've got 3 fantastic mentors that we'll be introducing you to in a moment. But before we do that, I'd like to share a short video with you. As the #1 mentoring program for apprentices, the Proud to be a Chef program is dedicated to recognising, developing and supporting apprentices through their journey to becoming the culinary leaders of tomorrow. We aim to keep the apprentices engaged and motivated with their career choice. And through the 2022 program, we hope to provide the apprentices with some inspiration as part of their culinary journey. We'll undertake masterclasses with our amazing mentors. We'll be visiting a dairy farm where they'll get the opportunity to interact and milk some cows, maybe do a little butter making, and who knows what else. We'll be visiting a Fonterra farm where we'll get to see what happens to our milk as we transform that into butter, cream, cheese, and numerous other amazing dairy products. So really exciting times for those 4 days as everyone is flying into Melbourne to share their journey with 31 other apprentices and to really come together with networking opportunities. We'll be dining at some incredible restaurants. And on the Wednesday, there'll be an opportunity for the 32 of you that make it through to become our finalists to actually showcase your culinary skills in the kitchen with your mentors. And that will be followed by a gala evening during which one apprentice will be awarded with a $7,500 scholarship for them to further their culinary journey. In addition to that, we'll have 2 3-day internships available to 2 winners, one for the best savoury dish and one for the best sweet dish. And that'll be an opportunity for you to be supported through one of your mentors in their establishments for the 3-day program. Now, excitingly, I'd like to turn my attention now to introducing to your mentors for 2022. The first mentor that I'd like to introduce you to is Mark Normoyle. He's our resident mentor. Welcome, Mark.
Morning, Kim. How are you? Thanks. Welcome, everyone. It's amazing to be here as part of the Proud to be a Chef 2022 program. A little bit about myself. I've been in this amazing industry of ours for over 30 years now. Like many of you guys, I started down the bottom as a 15-year-old work experience kid. I still remember it really well. Started my career as a kitchen hand and in the pub. And at the end of that week, as a work experience kid, I got my $20, as we all do. And I was walking out the door and the head chef came over and gave me another 20, and I thought, wow. And he had me hooked and basically gave me an apprenticeship after that. So I was qualified at quite a young age, around 19 years old, and I started running, small cafes, pubs, restaurants and all that sort of thing. And then eventually got to the stage where I wanted more out of my career. So I worked in some big hotels, managed to work my way around Australia. And from there, I worked my way up to executive chef of a beautiful place in Melbourne called the RACV Club, where I had a huge team of around 70 staff, had fun, got to travel the world, worked in many countries, and always had fun, always loved every day of my career. So currently, I have my own restaurant in St Kilda, which has been fun. These tricky times we've all had, but it's still fun and I still love it to this day, guys. I'm also still an ambassador for 3 amazing regions of Japan. So I am an ambassador for Hida Wagyu beef, which is a beautiful product coming out of Japan. Also yuzu. So a lot of you guys would know yuzu. So I'm an ambassador for Kochi yuzu, which is probably one of the best yuzus in Japan. And also for Gifu strawberries, these beautiful Japanese strawberries. So I love training young chefs, guys, and look forward to teaching you some more about the program.
Thanks, Mark. And I hope everyone on this call can see the passion that Mark has. So if you're not thinking about it now, think about it soon and get your application in. A second mentor I'd like to introduce you to is Telina Menzie. Welcome, Telina.
Thanks, Kim. Really excited to be here and so humbled to be part of the 2022 program. For myself, I started back in '99. That makes me sound really old, but look, 21 years I've been in the industry, and I started in WA at the Hyatt, so sort of cut my teeth on 5-star hotels. I then 5 years later, I went to the Convention Exhibition Centre where I learnt high volume, really high quality for high volume. Then did what a lot of chefs do and floated over to the other side of the world to London, where I worked for Create Party Food and Design. And, we did the Royal Family, heaps of high-end events in St Paul's Cathedral, Buckingham Palace. So that was really a great experience. But look, I missed home, and we've got so many amazing, restaurants over here in Australia. So amazing produce. So I came back home. I landed my first head chef job in Perth. And then I actually progressed quite quickly. I did a lot of competitions, Chef of the Year and things like that. And I progressed from one business to 12 very quickly across 2 states, so Victoria and WA. And now I sit here today as the exec chef for Australian Venue Company, and I run 30 pubs and restaurants across 3 states, and have sort of hundreds of staff that I help mentor and develop along the way. So really happy to be here.
Fantastic. Well, really inspiring, and I think just showcasing your sort of journey so far really shows that anyone on this webinar today, what is possible through your career. And excitingly, our third mentor I'd like to introduce you to is Michael Germanos. Welcome, Michael.
Thanks, Kim. Super excited to be here. I've been working in the hospitality industry as a pastry chef for the last 14 years. Currently, I'm doing pastry consulting, which is a new venture for me, and it's really exciting. I've worked in various settings. I've been able to work in hotels, pastry boutiques, production kitchens. My favorite being pastry boutique. I really enjoy French pastry. My strengths sort of lie in entremet and petit gâteau production. Throughout my career, I've been fortunate enough to travel overseas and study at the Belle Conseil in Paris, which was one of the highlights of my career. I've also been fortunate enough to compete nationally, and I've worked with some amazing chefs along the way, which has been really exciting for my career, and forged some great friendships.
Wow, working in France, I hear that's a fairly tough gig, so well done to you for still being here today. Telina, just an opportunity for us to sort of have a bit of a Q&A and for everyone on this call to learn a little bit more about our mentors. COVID, very topical, obviously. How have you managed through COVID?
Well, look, a difficult time for everybody in the industry. I had to really learn to slow down and be comfortable with being still, running so many multiple venues across multiple states, 100 miles an hour all the time, as the apprentices get to know, that's how I am and operate. So having to slow down was a big shock to me, but looking after our peers in the industry, I really delved into that, and that is what kept me going. We actually, at Australian Venue Co, started a program called Meals for Mates, and we provided meals, 7 meals a week for hospitality staff in the industry to make sure they had food security, which is so important. So, for me, it was really looking after my peers in terms of their mental health, which there's nothing more important in times like this. And yeah, obviously cooking is what I do. So being able to provide food for people, that really kept me going, and there was nothing more rewarding.
And absolutely, I mean, you mentioned mental health there, and I think it's fair to say that through this in this industry over the last sort of 16 months or so, that's been a critical factor for people to take care of themselves. And really inspirational, that you've been able to turn your hand to actually supporting those in need as well. So congratulations to you and the team. It's pretty inspirational, as I said. We'll now turn to Mark and like to understand how you've managed through COVID.
Yeah, thanks, Kim. Like as Telina said, some great comments there, and it's been really tough for all in our industry. But one thing I've always tried to do throughout my career is I'm eternally optimistic and trying to be positive about everything. So we sort of looked at what can we do? How can we keep our team engaged, even if it's only getting them in for a couple of hours a day to do some training, to upskill, to try and keep them engaged and keep them cool. I had an amazing team, and I still do, and I wanted to keep them because it's been a tough time for everyone. So we got them a few bucks that way. And from our customers' point of view, we sort of did a lot where we thought, okay, everyone's doing takeaway, everyone's doing all this, sort of online stuff. What can we do? And our restaurant's situated basically between a dog park, we're there right on the beach, and over here's a dog beach. So we get all these dogs walking past. So we said, okay, how can we try and get these people with their dogs come to our restaurant and have a coffee? So we did some cool dog biscuits and things, but probably my favourite thing we did was the guys come up with an idea. It's called the charcuterie platter. So basically we made like a little platter for dogs, and we served it on these old tiles we had left over from our renovation. So we're just always trying to do some fun, cool things, and that stuff got us traction, and it kept the guys, happy, kept them motivated. And every time we sold one, it's only $6, but it just gave everyone, a bit of a lift. And so that we did a lot of things there, and we just tried to keep the doors open and keep our team engaged.
Thanks, Mark. Very inspirational, and looking forward to bringing my puppy down to your place soon. And how about you, Michael? What's been your journey, and how have you managed through COVID?
Look, I think COVID was an extremely difficult period for all of us. It's been hard not having that human face-to-face interaction, which is something we're so used to as human beings. And I sort of struggled myself mentally, and what kept me going was having a great support group of friends, keeping busy and sort of exploring other hobbies outside of the kitchen, because having that change of pace, as we said as chefs, and sort of slowing down gave me time to really reassess my life and sort of prioritize things. So for me, it was about getting healthy, getting fit, and exercising, keeping in touch with friends, and meditating and staying positive.
Absolutely. I mean, we hear a lot of talk about people in their sort of physical fitness, and here at Anchor Food Professionals, we also focus on our mental, fitness as well. So, really good to hear from yourself that they're areas that you've focused on through this time as well. But turning our attention now just to hear a little bit about your individual culinary journeys along the way and what's inspired you, I think we'll start with Mark. What's been your inspiration?
Look, I suppose it's changed throughout my career. When I was a younger chef, I was inspired by my head chefs, my sous chefs, just to see their work ethic and their passion and all that sort of thing. But what really inspires me these days is imparting my knowledge and training my young chefs and just seeing them get better. And not only my chefs, but my front of house as well. And I'm inspired by just that amazing team aspect that we have in hospitality and the great, sort of team environment from not just our restaurant, but the whole industry.
Yeah, really good to hear, Mark. Telina, how about yourself? What's inspired your journey?
Well, when I was a little tacker, I was actually a little bit lost. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I mean, my father, funnily enough, two of my uncles and my great-grandmother actually owned a dairy, so they're all in the industry, so I think it was in my blood. I just didn't really know it yet. And then, look, I sort of, when I first started, I started doing similar programs to Proud to be a Chef and Apprentice of the Year, and I met this amazing man who inspired me, Patrick O'Brien, and he, saw that I was a little bit lost, and he really put me under his wing as a mentor and really pushed me to the front and helped me develop. And he's still a big inspiration for me. He still does so much for young chefs in this industry, and he's forever pushing people forward. So definitely programs like this really changed my life. Hospitality changed my life. It gave me direction, discipline. It gave me purpose. Because like I said, I was young. I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and I started doing chefing as a job to get a paycheck. And then it became, it's the love, that's the thing that gets me out of bed every morning. It's really a passion for me.
And it's interesting that you say that, it's something that you didn't sort of aspire to originally, but, more something that you sort of fell into, and you've uncovered this passion and talent. And, to everyone on this call today, the fact that you're actually on this call or on this webinar, I can get a sense of, a lot of passion and motivation that's coming through. And, just listening to Telina's story and both Mark and Michael as well, it really is an opportunity for you to sort of uncover your own personal talents. But as you touched on with a mentor as well, I think that can be incredibly important through our journeys is, find that one person that's going to continue to support and inspire you as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And how about yourself, Michael? What's really inspired you?
I've had a lot of inspirations along the way. So my earliest inspiration was actually my grandmother. So I remember starting off baking, learning my first sweets with my grandmother in her kitchen. And I sort of left school at an early age and decided to pursue baking and pastry. So I've had a pretty large journey. Along the way, I've sort of had some great mentors myself. I've been fortunate enough to study under some of the best pastry chefs in the world. Some of them being Cedric Gallais, Julian Alvarez, Joan Martin. These are chefs that I continue to look up to today. They continue to push the boundaries and what's possible in terms of pastry, and that sort of really inspires me and opened my eyes to what's possible out there. The other thing that sort of inspires me is the peers that I work with and the amazing chefs that I work with along the way. I think that sort of pushes me to be better and raise the bar continuously.
And you touched on team there, and I think absolutely, your team, your peers, that inspiration. But, I can just see you as you're sort of talking about your journey there, you're just kind of really shining and blossoming, and, your passion is clearly coming through. So, just really good to hear from you. Probably turning our attention now to thinking about, what kind of advice we might be giving to apprentices who are on this call today. So I think we might start with Mark.
Thanks, Kim. Look, I suppose the advice that I tend to give young chefs, it's something which has helped me throughout my career. I've never been the most skillful chef in most kitchens that I've worked in, but the three things which I've always tried to focus on, one is, and I try and tell young chefs, is your attitude is your biggest asset. So a positive, can-do attitude can really take you a long way. The second bit of advice, and this is something which I still do with myself today, and all my staff, anyone from my kitchen hand to my restaurant manager and everyone in between, is get better. Wherever you are today, try and get better the next day. Try and learn a new skill. Try and do something different, do something new. And the third, and probably the most important bit of advice I would say, is have fun. Enjoy the journey. Hospitality, as we know, guys, can be tough, but at the end of the day, it's food. It's not life and death. Enjoy it, have fun, have a laugh, take the piss out of everyone. That's fine, enjoy yourself.
Absolutely. I think fun is critical to anyone's working environment. It's not about the paycheck. It's about the whole. It's about what you get out of work, but it's about having some fun along the way. So, Michael, how about yourself? What sort of advice would you give?
For myself, Kim, I'd say number one, be passionate, love what you do. If you're extremely passionate about your work and you let that love shine through, it's going to shine through in your product and your working environment. Secondly, I'd like to say it's important to be open and take on as much new knowledge and information as you can. Me, still to this day, I'm still learning and I'm still open to new ideas and concepts. So that's extremely open to be flexible. And lastly, it's practice and persistence. So constantly got to practice, put yourself out there, enter as many competitions as you can, and that'll sort of set you to push the bar higher and exceed as a chef. So.
Yeah, I love that sort of curiosity, kind of passion and persistence. I mean, if you take nothing away from today except those three words, I think you're set up for success. And how about yourself, Telina?
Well, I couldn't agree with Michael and Mark more with their points. So for me, I think reach for the stars, never give up. You'll stumble along the way, you'll find a few things hard here and there, but always push forward. I think be patient. Progress takes time, and to develop through the industry, it will take time, but just be patient. A lot of things are instant these days, but allow yourself time to learn. Make sure you're working in an environment with great culture, under a great leader, where you're constantly learning and progressing forward is very important. And also be humble, support each other in the industry, It's just very important that we support our peers and push each other to the front. And yeah, I couldn't, that's probably one of the most important things, is just to be humble along the way.
Absolutely. Lean on those that you need to over the course of the journey, give back. Well, I hope everyone has really enjoyed hearing a little bit from our mentors for 2022. We're super excited about, bringing this program to life. We thought we'd give you a little bit of inspiration along the way. So we're going to pass over to Mark now, and he's going to give you a little dairy inspiration.
Welcome back to the kitchen, team. So as part of your application process for the Proud to be Chef program, you need to submit and develop a recipe of your own. So with basically using dairy product at the start. So the theme of this one is using dairy differently. So I'm going to do a couple of dishes for you today. Hopefully it's going to inspire you and give you some ideas of how you can potentially use dairy a little bit differently. So the first dish is very simple, but I think beautiful and effective. So we're going to make a beetroot hummus. We're going to sear some salmon and sear some avocado. So I've got my pan warm over here. So I've got some beautiful Tasmanian salmon. Pan is just warm. You can see that it's not smoky, not too hot. Got some beautiful pieces of this amazing Tasmanian salmon. So a big majority of Australia's farmed fish comes from Tasmania. So all of our ocean trout, salmon, kingfish comes from Tasmania. Something they call aquaculture, which is basically fish farms, which are right next to the ocean. They pump the seawater through the farms, and the fish are in ponds. They get fed a great diet and they grow really quickly. Beautiful product. Little bit of seasoning. You can see that there. That's just ticking over nice and slowly without too much heat. I'm going to cook that. Get some nice caramelisation on the salmon, and all that heat's going to rise up and cook that fish just beautifully. So while the fish is cooking, we're going to make our beetroot hummus, guys. So what I have here is some roasted beetroot, which all I've done to that is wrap it in some foil, a whole beetroot, in the oven, a couple of hours, 160 degrees or so, just until it's tender. Take it out, give it a puree. In this little fella here, I have some roasted chickpeas, which I've blended as well, and also some roasted sesame. In it goes. And the star of this one's going to give some beautiful creaminess is some cream cheese, some Anchor cream cheese. So really simple, guys. Good dishes, in my point of view, don't have to be too complex. And we're just going to add a little bit of fresh lemon juice to that. So two of my key products I would use in my kitchens are salt and lemon juice, guys. Great flavour, great punch, great in pretty well most dishes. Simply mix these two together. Mix these ingredients together. Now my salmon's ticking over nicely there. Just going to combine the cream cheese so you get the idea. You've got a beautiful colour. Beetroot's a great product, I love it. Really cheap, very versatile. Beautiful colour there. So while I'm waiting for my salmon to cook, what I'm going to do now is we're going to sear this avocado beautiful Hass avocado. I've got my blowtorch here. So what I'm doing here, guys, is essentially there's some beautiful fats and sugars, all natural in this avocado, and you can see pretty quickly that it's starting to darken up. I mean, obviously you can't smell this, guys, but there's a beautiful, nice seared smell coming off that. And the actual dark outside of the skin's actually going really nice, bright green as well. Look at that. Looks amazing. So while we're doing that, our salmon is almost there. And you notice that when I'm cooking fish, guys, I don't play around, I don't shake the pan, there's no flames coming off it. I'm gonna cook it predominantly all the way through on one side. Just flick it over for the last minute or two. So that's almost there. I'm just gonna flip it over. Look at that, beautiful caramelized fish. And that's ready, guys. Let it sit there. So fish is like steak. You need to let it rest slightly before you serve it. Pop that onto my plate. Got some creaminess. I've got some beautiful fish. Got the great flavour of the beetroot, bit of acid in there as well. Let me go 1, 2, 3. You don't have to be too neat. We're going to cut our avocado. And we're going to put 3 pieces of that on there as well. Plate it however you like. 2, 3. And look, just to finish this one as well, another beautiful dairy, which is probably underutilised, I believe, is feta cheese. So you're going to give it a nice bit of white colour. So I've got a beautiful bit of feta here. I'm just going to crumble on it. Really simple dish, guys. Great for a sharer, great for an entree. You could add another component to it, make a main course as well. So how quick and simple was that, guys? The key to making a simple dish and developing a simple recipe is limited ingredients is great, but each component by itself has to taste amazing. All right, so now we're going to move over to our duck dish. So we're going to use a bit of an Asian-inspired theme with this one. So one of the fastest growing markets for dairy in the world is actually Asia, not just China, but Southeast Asia as well. So here I have a beautiful duck leg confit. I've just got a low heat over here. So for confit, I salted this duck for 4 hours, covered it in duck fat and cooked it at 110 for about 2 hours. Nice and tender, beautiful, and I'm just going to reheat it for service. We're going to make 2 components here. The first one I'm going to make is Anchor whipping cream. So great for sweet or savoury dishes. We're going to make a savoury version. So I'm going to put some whipped cream, Anchor whipping cream in here. Just going to add a bit of chopped coriander to that. Now this product here is amazing, guys. So you can't really see that there. But basically this is from the Wakayama prefecture of Japan. So this is a soy powder. So this actually comes from one of the oldest soy sauce factories in Japan, over 400 years of age. And you guys are actually probably some of the first chefs in Australia to see this brand new product. So smells amazing. It's going to give me all those amazing umami soy sauce flavours without that liquid sort of really overpowering thing. So keep an eye on this one on the market. Just going to add that to the cream. So essentially what we're doing here is making a savoury chantilly. Going to go lovely with this duck. It's got a nice little sort of, coffee tinge to it. So that's one component. So we've got our duck warming up nicely. We've got our soy cream. Now the next one is where some more dairy comes into it. So we're going to make a dressing to serve with this beautiful little baby gem lettuce here, and it's going to go with the duck. So in here I've blended some coriander, I've got some nuts in there, I've got some red chilli as well, and a little bit of sriracha, guys. So it's almost like a little chilli paste. Also great to use like in chilli scramble, that sort of thing. We're going to add a nice big amount of parmesan. We're going to add a little bit of citrus. You can use lime. I've got some blood orange here. A little bit of lemon. We're going to simply stir in a bit of olive oil to that. It's going to make a nice little dressing. In it goes. Very simple, guys. Once again, good food doesn't necessarily have to be too complicated. Now, because I've used the parmesan, I've got some chilli and all these flavours now, I don't need to season this at all. Gonna pop our little baby gems in there. Looks great, smells great, fresh, crisp, nice flavour. You could add some puffed rice to this. You could add some almonds. You can add pretty well anything you like. It's a beautiful, nice Asian-inspired salad. Okay, now the fun part is always the plating up, guys. So once you've got all your prep ready, the duck's nice and ready, salad goes in. I prefer really simple plate ups, guys, but you can do your own style. I'm more focused on the actual ingredients that I put in there and making it taste great. Look, yep, it's got to look great as well, but to me, I would rather it taste great than look great. Duck goes on there. I'm going to put a nice big dollop of this amazing soy cream on there. You can quenelle it, make it as fancy as you want. So look at that, guys, really simple, lovely duck salad dish. So we've mentioned about the program before, guys. My advice to you is if you're thinking about entering the program, just do it. And if I think 90% of the apprentices or young chefs out there will be thinking, look, I'm not good enough for this. The other chefs are so much better. They work in a better restaurant. That's all irrelevant. This program is all about mentoring. So my job is to mentor you and get you ready and to make sure you enjoy the program. It doesn't matter if you're a first year, you've been cooking for 6 months, or you've been cooking for 3 years and you're almost qualified, irrelevant. So the person who will go on to eventually become the winner or then win this award of the program is not necessarily the person who will be the best chef. It's going to be the person who's got the best attitude, who's really invested in the program, who works well with everyone, who tries their best. So all I can say to you guys is do it. Don't be shy. When you apply, the good thing about this is, well, you can actually start your application, go off, do something else, go to work, come back, talk to your chef, talk to your mentor, and you can actually develop your application as you go. So it doesn't have to be done in one place. So now we're going to show you a video on actually how you apply.
To enter Proud to be a Chef, head over to the website, click on Start an Application and register to create an account. Now you can begin. Start by filling out your personal details. At any time, you can click Save and return to your application later by logging into your account. Next, fill out your course information and then answer the questions about your achievements, motivations and future aspirations. Now comes the fun part. Upload your original recipe. Make sure you tick the boxes to ensure your recipe meets all requirements. Include at least 1 Anchor Food Professional's ingredient, serves 2 people, ensure prep time is no longer than 30 minutes and cook time is no longer than 2 hours, use ingredients that are available in February, and finally ensure the recipe can be made with shared access to specialist equipment. Once your recipe is uploaded and you're happy with your application, take a deep breath and click Submit.
Well, I hope you took a lot of inspiration out of those few dishes that Mark's just shared with you. But down to business, how do you go about applying for this amazing program? Well, entries are open from today until the 31st of October, and applications are open to Australian citizens and residents over the age of 18 who are enrolled in a government-accredited culinary course. To submit your application, please visit proudtobeachef.com. You can follow us on socials to see how the journey is unfolding for others along the way. The process of actually submitting your application involves you answering 3 short questions so we can learn a little bit more about yourself, and also by submitting a recipe that includes an Anchor Food Professional product, but it must be your own recipe. So here's an opportunity to unleash your creative talents along the way. And I encourage all apprentice chefs, so everybody on this call today, to the RTO teachers out there, please get your apprentices involved. To anyone in the industry, please spread the word. This is an incredible program. As I said, we've been running it for over 20 years. We love to have a broad breadth and depth of apprentices from all over Australia to participate. So please, check out the website, jump on the socials, read everything, all the instructions are there. You've seen the video on how to submit your application. Mark Normoyle will be available to answer any questions, so please just drop us a line and we'll get back to you. We're happy to jump on a call and chat through to you at any point in time to make sure that you have everything at your fingertips to enable you to submit a really thorough application. And we look forward to having 32 amazing committed apprentices on this journey with us in February next year. So please jump on board. This is an opportunity too good to miss, and we look forward to seeing the applications start coming through over the next couple of weeks. Thanks everyone for joining us today. Take care. Keep on with that journey. We will be better across the whole hospitality industry. So enjoy. Take care.